Well, have you ever brought up a cartoon or animation and someone's first response is, "Oh my God, oh, that's my childhood right there," or they just start nostalgia circle jerking? What's up, everyone? You're watching Taper TV. Recently, I've been going to the theaters by myself, AMC specifically. So you already know where I'm going with this. Nicole Kidman ad always makes me feel uneasy. Nicole Kidman is in a glittering pantsuit, walking through the most high-tech, blinding theater I've ever seen just to watch a movie alone. This ad disturbs me and shames me while pretending to celebrate me, because I do use the theater as my life on Mars moment. Sometimes I want to forget my mundane life, and a good movie in a dark theater can do that in a way that watching something at home or on my laptop can't. The line, "Our heroes feel like the best part of us," is this narcissistic notion that perturbs me the most. And this is such a grotesque admission on AMC's part. It's an overwhelming solipsism that dominates our culture and stops us from seeing the barrier between ourselves, other people, and worse yet, what we consume. This is the root of all that ails us: parasocial relationships, canning a character, and cussing at a celebrity on Twitter when they do something you don't like. The problem with making a show or manga or anything else part of your identity is that all of these things, and worse, people, they're not real. They're just ideas. And yes, Nicole Kidman is not just an idea. She actually exists somewhere drinking water. Yeah. But I don't know her, and neither do you, most likely. It's this phenomenon of confusing things you like for a personality. I used to call this the Facebook effect, but it's a bit older. It comes from mass consumption. Before, it used to be objects that said things about you, and now it is what you like and the media you consume. Is this better than before? Is this evolution in the right direction? And some of you might think yourselves above this, but have you ever fallen victim to distancing yourself from someone because you don't like their politics, or even cut off friends and family members? This phenomenon of the lack of boundaries and barriers between the self and everything else just promotes mindless consumption of a different kind, the kind that takes up your time. Modern industry leaves a lot to be desired. Most people have menial jobs that degrade their intelligence, and we are further separated from necessary tasks that keep our lives afloat. How many of you know how to farm, middlesmith, or even build a house? How many of you are just pushing keys on a computer or a register? Our work is now soul-sucking as we are further removed from the necessity and the sanctity of it. There are two worlds: the workday and the beautiful people on your screens. And don't even get me started on social media. Television is an engrossing escape which only furthers the divide between work and play. Television is an even worse form of play, as it is a passive experience. What's left to the imagination with television? Every pore and fabric are visible. Now we can follow our favorite stars on social media and continue the charade. The glorification of this pretend world takes away the dignity of our everyday lives. When our idols fail us, our response is violent anger. There is a need for things to be explicit in their moral stance, and not because we, the audience, cannot work out the answer, but because we need to know what the creator thinks. Art is vilified when it doesn't tell us what to think. It is no longer used to provoke thought and self-reflection. It tells us what we already want to hear. The separation of self is minimized and calculated into the product. And why am I talking about this when I'm an animation review channel and the only other thing I posted is like a shit post about furries? You know? You're like, what, Taper TV? What the fuck are you talking about? Well, have you ever brought up a cartoon or animation and someone's first response is, oh my god, oh, that's my childhood right there? Or they just start nostalgia circle jerking. This thinking is so pathetic and so dominant, and when I hear it, I already know that I'm not going to be on the same page on discussing something. I cannot talk about the intricacies. Your nostalgia is a commodity, and it's what funds derivative remake after derivative remake, and you're playing right into Disney's grubby little gloved hands. The nostalgia lover archetype is the other side of the people who post that obscure anime to their Instagram story. The more esoteric the anime is, the more esoteric you are. Ooh, no one's seen this really horrible thing that I just post on here to make myself seem more unavailable and hard to understand than I am. You are tricking yourself into becoming unknowable when you are all really just the same. You are no better than a Disney adult. But most importantly, in binge after binge, we lack silence. And this devalues play as well as work. We no longer truly have unwinding play, just passive consumption we confuse for relaxation and unwinding. Even our play has come tangled in work. I mean, even when I'm doing this YouTube channel, which should be arguably play for me. This should be me creating stuff for the sake of creating stuff. But no, in the back of my mind, some part of me says, no, you need to be able to monetize this. You need to make money from this somehow. But I don't. Without the silence of self-reflection, you will never be able to tell where yourself begins and everything else ends. Contemplative lingering is what gives us closure and appreciation. But with overconsumption, that's impossible. It's just endless additive corruption. Whether it's binging another show or browsing Twitter to see what people have said, or even maybe trying to contribute to the conversation yourself, and then you realize, oh, wait, I don't really have anything interesting to say. Constant chatter, it's just all you're adding to, has replaced the silence. And the only closure we get are in these movies with Nicole Kidman eyes dazzling at us. Our movies are Plato's cave, and seeing these things as parts of ourselves stops us from recognizing we're even in the cave. And before you wag your finger at me, I am also talking about myself as well as everyone else. None of us are immune to this. But I do want to change. I can't take another remake or having to wonder if someone thinks Funko Pops are a good idea. We can demand more from film and animation if we just take time to linger and reflect in silence. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. You are watching Taper TV, and I recorded this in the bathroom. Specifically in the bathtub, because I thought it would be hilarious. Not so hilarious, kind of a logistical nightmare. You do what you want with what you have.